Okay, so I am currently in San Antonio, Texas, building a YouTube studio slash desk setup. I'm a little in awe because it's from one of you guys. Lexi is a real estate agent. She was watching a YouTube video and decided, hey, I need to actually bring this thing fully home so I can get kickstarted, all from the seat of my desk. For a couple months now, however, she didn't have the setup that she wanted, and she has majority, if not all, the gear that she had seen from our previous videos and went ahead and purchased. That's great. However, I think one of the biggest problems with looking at the gear from the previous videos is you have to fundamentally know what the gear is used for to be able to understand where the gaps are in the studio and to be able to have each part play its own role and understand the workflow completely so that you have something customized to you. So in today's video, we are going through basically the full breakdown of setting up your perfect desk or tiny room within Lexi's space. In this video, we're gonna go over the gear that's used, some of the workflows, and some of the logistics that it takes to actually be able to put this stuff together. We are going to go a little bit deeper into customizing the wood veneer panels. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that we literally have 12 hours today to make this happen. Honestly, I just hope nothing goes wrong because I literally get on a flight within 18 hours. So my only thoughts is, John, don't fuck it up. Let's go. So we're here in the room, we got the space. Give us kind of a breakdown as to where you were before, what the project and the goal is.
I knew I needed this to be my home office with my husband. So we have two desk spaces. But the issue was, I was like, well, how am I going to do that with, sitting here? It's a blank white wall. That's really boring. If I go this way, then I need a freestanding desk. How do I do it? I've seen a lot of things. I found a YouTube video and then I was like, wow, they made it work in such a small space. And I said, okay, they can do it in my office. The goal is to be able to record in here without having to have a freestanding desk and just be able to not have things on the floor. Just stuff off of the floor to be able to still make it functional, really.
Right now, we got all our gear here. We got some floating shelves. We got the GBM, and then we have two Amaran 200X. One is we're going to have a Very pole that's here that goes to the ceiling. And then we're going to have another Very pole that I would like to extend from here up to here for some backlighting to hit you, as well as our paneling that we have.
I'm excited to see it transform.
And this is it. We finally did it. This is the final result of everything that we had been working on all the way from start to finish. So let's go ahead and do a quick breakdown of what this all really entails so that you can be able to see certain elements that you can take from the studio builds and apply it to your own desk setup or your own personal tiny studio for YouTube. Basically, we have the essentials, starting with our audio. We have our Shure SM7B that is connected to our Elgato boom arm, which super big shout out to Elgato. They've been making a lot of really clutch gear, and that is as a matter of fact why we partnered with them. And the Elgato teleprompter, which is a really clutch setup here. We have the audio that is going straight into a Scarlett Solo that is feeding directly into her MacBook. We have this all fed in with a hub port system that just goes right into the side because it's a USB-A port. Continuing on, we have an Ulanzi desk mount arm here to be able to hold our camera and free up the space. One of Lexi's biggest goals was I do not want to clutter up my entire space with all this tripod. So she ordered two Very poles, one of them that is going right here behind me that is holding the Amaran 200X, which is a great bicolor key light that is also
also paired with the kind of like umbrella. Like if you can notice, like I look really crispy and like the background is not filled with light. It's because we have paired it with an Aputure dome light that has a honeycomb feature to it. This really helps because it isolates where the light is going. We have two of the Amaran 200Xs. One of them is the key light. And then if you look over here, we have one that's just splashing light onto the back of our veneer panelings. For the paneling, initially she had kind of a dull wall. And so we were like, okay, the biggest way that you can spice up a space is not by crazy gear through your lens, but it's actually through your lighting. And so we put the paneling up to be able to splash and break up the paneling with lighting. So we have a colored light that is our GVM up here, and then we have our Amaran that is both down there as well to be able to break up these panels so that you don't get like kind of a vertigo effect to it. So we started off, we set up our entire veneer wood paneling. We cut out the holes for the outlets. I don't love it. Like it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. But if you have to do any sort of custom work to it, you just have to be very particular with the space that you're setting up with this. So one of the hardest things that you can do is when you're setting up this veneer paneling is to be able to cut holes that, and sometimes the way that it lines up, you're actually cutting in between a wood veneer panel itself, which can be risky if you go to cut it and it ends up flaking the front part of it. You can always get a wood pen to kind of fill in the wood spacing and to be able to have plates for your electrical that kind of spread even further past the veneer paneling. We did not add glue to the back of the veneer paneling because if we want to be able to take it off, you can just do that very easily with your screws. We used for our tools for this a Ryobi drill, scroll saw, and I would not recommend the jigsaw because it's too rigid for something like this. And so we ended up just sticking with the scroll saw. So that is our paneling. We also added some amazing LED light strips here to continue to break up the room and have leading lines that go straight into the subject, similar to how I am sitting here. Everything pushes into your subject, which is what you want at the end of the day. We went through our GVM box lights, which there's two of them, by the way. And on the other side, which you can't really see it here. So now you can see on the opposite side of me, my chin, we have a GVM light that's like right over here in the corner, shining onto the other side, which is your fill. And so we have our key light here, and on the opposing side, we have our fill light to be able to separate your subject from the background. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not necessarily the gear, but how well you position things within the room. So I think when you're looking at your space, you don't necessarily always have to do more. You just have to do better with what you have. And that doesn't necessarily always require breaking the bank. I think overall the studio, if I were to really break down everything, we probably sat at, I would say it was about $5,000 in total, maybe not including the camera. The camera itself, we used the FX30 with a 24 to 50 millimeter lens. With our Sony FX30, getting into it now, we have a dummy battery and an HDMI attachment that goes to another Camlink 4K from Elgato. The Camlink 4K goes straight into the hub, which now when Lexi goes to use the prompter, basically she'll be able to see not just herself, but she'll also be able to flip back and forth between her text so that she can kind of see her staging and everything. This was the first studio that I've done from somebody who has discovered me on YouTube, which is amazing because we've only really just recently started our YouTube. If you go back to our videos, you can see that we've been doing it for a few months, but we have really decided to dedicate like a lot of time. And I want to thank Tomas, the team over at Lumen, who are our partners, Pedro as well, for being able to help us accomplish the videos that we have been able to do. I'm really happy about this studio build. Put a lot of time and dedication into this one specifically because I just really wanted this to turn out really well. Lexi, she's been doing content for a while, but now she's rehoning her skills, and so she's still kind of in a beginning phase. And nothing is better than taking someone from a beginner to an architect because you get to see such a dramatic change in the quality of their growth. Hey, listen, if you found this video really helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because, it really helps us be able to connect with you. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below for the things that you found helpful or the type of gear that you were looking at and you're thinking about getting. I'm going to go ahead and list all the gear in the description below. But if you are looking to transform your YouTube studio, feel free to reach out to us if you just need a little bit of help or watch our videos. It's free game. Everything that we do, we literally document it and we create a gear playlist. Help a brother out, man. Hit that subscribe button. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you guys and be able to give you guys some free game to be able to become the creators that you want to become. I'm Manager John. I'll see you on the next video.